This is one of the biggest challenges that a lot of you guys have, if I'm being honest, is that you're consuming this great information, right? You're watching YouTube videos, or maybe even going through courses and training programs, or buying and reading books, or listening to podcasts. You're doing the right things there, right? And you're growing and you're trying to improve your life, but the challenge is, as you're trying to grow and improve, you're not changing your environment. And your environment will always overpower everything else. It will influence you more than anything. So if you're trying to make progress in your life and build a business and succeed to be more positive and happy, but the people in your life, they're in the employee mentality, they are negative, they think that you're crazy or weird or stupid to buy a course, and they think everything's a scam, and they're skeptical and they're pessimistic and they complain all the time and they're unhappy and miserable, and you surround yourself with that, there's gonna be a conflict, and you're trying to make progress, but you're being held back. You're always going to be held back, and so you actually have to change your environment.
It wasn't that I wanted to be successful, I wanted to start a business. No, I was committed to it, and I think there's a big difference. A lot of people want things. We all want to have a fit body. We all want to be successful. We all want to have a great relationship. But there's a difference between wanting that and being committed, because if you're committed, you're going to make it happen no matter what. You're going to do whatever you have to do to make it work. And so for myself, I have to fit this into my schedule. I just did not leave room for anything else. There was no wasting time on social media. I honestly didn't even hang out with my friends. I was really isolated. It was my business, my work, my school, and Stefan.
When you look at the biggest companies, most businesses don't make money in the first year. First few years, often they're operating at a deficit, right? Most businesses. Within the first year, statistics are that half of businesses that start are gone. Within 5 years, 80%. 10 years from now, 100 businesses that get started, only there's 4 lasting. 96% of businesses fail, right? But the ones that make it, if you look at a Facebook, they didn't monetize that for so many years after. How did they delay that gratification? Because they enjoyed the process, they trusted the process, they believed in their vision, they knew that this is gonna be big, that the money, the prize was gonna be there, and so they just kept at it. And they got more and more in debt, more and more investors, and they didn't pay themselves really much. And often when you hear these stories, whether it's a Mark Cuban or these different entrepreneurs out there, that's really what makes an entrepreneur, right? Is being able to handle that and go through that and be willing to take that risk and delay it. Ultimately just having faith in the ultimate reward.
I think a major reason why I do get so much done and I am so productive is because I'm an entrepreneur, and it is because I own my own business. And I have this responsibility to grow the business and to maintain the business, and all of the responsibilities of the business lie on me. I know that what I put in is what I get out. And so I don't have those lazy days, because I think when I was an employee and I worked at a bank and I would just go spend my 8 hours in the bank, I'd go home and I don't care what's going on at the bank. I don't care if they're going bankrupt. I don't really care what's going on. It's not my responsibility. I'm just the employee. I work for my paycheck. But as the entrepreneur, I'm not just working for my paycheck. I'm working to build my asset. So I just know that if I have a task list, if I have these high leverage things to get done, nobody's gonna do them except me. Nobody's gonna say, hey Tatiana, let me take this off your plate, I'll do this for you. I either have to delegate it to someone else or take care of it myself. And so for myself personally, if I don't feel like doing something, it's not an excuse. I get it done anyways. So that's kind of my mentality around things. It's that get done attitude. But at the same time, I do listen to my body. And because I have an online business, because I own the business and I have a team, I'm able to take that time off and the business runs itself. I would definitely recommend investing in a course. You have to do your own due diligence. You have to do your own research to determine if it's something that works for you. But I think that investing in a course, investing in your education is the best way to go about it. At this point now, I've done a lot of coaching for people who are selling on Amazon, starting to sell on Amazon. And a lot of people who come to me, they watched YouTube videos and they got inspired and they said, you know what, I can do this on my own, I can figure it out. What's in a course that I can't find on Google and YouTube? And so they go about doing it on their own, and then they make mistakes, and some of those are costly mistakes, but most importantly, they're losing a lot of time. And then they go and eventually buy a course. And so I recommend just from the beginning getting a course. Yes, you can do it on your own, and I've even interviewed a guy on my channel who's done it on his own, but it's a very small percentage of people who are going to be successful trying to figure it all out on themselves. It just, for me, everything in my life now, whenever I'm learning something for the first time, I get a course or I read a book, or I'm just trying to learn from people who are already successful. I'm not here to be the trailblazer. I'm not here to try and be the pioneer. I want to learn from people and model people who have the success I want.
You got to understand, not all activity, not all actions are equal. You can't mistake an activity for achievement. A lot of people, they're active, they're checking their email a million times a day, Facebook, Instagram. Those things don't really move the needle though in your business. They don't really make progress. We're obsessed around doing the highest leverage and most important things in our lives and in our business that will move the needle the most. So for us, we know out of our to-do list what matters the most, what's gonna really make the biggest difference, what's gonna make that quantum leap. And we focus on those things first. Otherwise, we could spend our time doing all these little things, but it's not gonna make more money, it's not gonna grow the business that much, it's gonna be very slow. So for us, we just know what's most important, and we still have fun and relax and spend time on a relationship, but those are things that we schedule in the week. We schedule when we're gonna go on a date, we schedule when we're gonna Netflix and chill, when we're gonna go to the gym, when we're gonna take a week or 2 weeks off to travel, all of that sort of stuff. We have a schedule that we stick to and follow to make sure that we're making progress in all the different areas of our lives.
Yeah, it's important to realize the difference between something that is urgent and something that is important. And oftentimes urgent disguises itself as important. So for example, if you have 60 emails in your inbox, first thing in the morning you spend 3 hours answering emails because it seems important, but the truth is it's just something that's urgent. It's not necessarily the most important thing that you could be doing with that time. So every day in the morning I wake up and yes, I have a huge list, that's just what I do. But then out of that list, I look at the 2 or 3 things that are gonna be the highest leverage things, and I make sure that I eliminate all distractions. I don't turn on my phone, I don't go on social media, I don't have any kind of distractions. I do those first 2 things and I accomplish those before moving on to the other things that are more urgent.